They called her a liar, said she forged the documents, mocked her, searched her, humiliated her sister. But when Zara finally made one phone call, every jet on the runway stopped. Because the black teen they tried to silence was the daughter of the man who owned the entire airline. And he was done being silent. Zara and Yolanda Whitmore arrived at Miami Executive Airport, dressed like everything they were: brilliant, disciplined, and undeniably deserving. Honors students, debate champions, bound for Harvard and Yale, and today, flying solo on a chartered Gulfstream G650, paid in full. But the moment they handed over their charter confirmation, the smiles vanished. "These documents don't look right," the check-in agent said. Kyle Morrison, white shirt, smug face. He turned the paperwork over like he was handling a fake ID. Loud enough for everyone to hear. Loud enough to humiliate. 20 minutes passed. Passengers whispered. Security glanced. And when Kyle returned, "Your charter's canceled. Payment issues," he lied. The Whitmore twins didn't cry, didn't raise voices, just stood stunned, knowing exactly what this was. Not a glitch, not a mix-up, a message. Still, they pushed forward, through a security line that suddenly flagged them for random screening. Their bags rifled, laptops opened without consent. Yolanda's prescription meds held up like narcotics. The TSA agent, Mitchell, sneered. "Always gotta be careful with these types." They were humiliated, searched, profiled. Still, they moved forward. At the airport cafe, Paige, the hostess, told them there was a 45-minute wait. All the tables were reserved, even the empty ones. Then she seated a white couple who had walked in seconds after them. The twins spoke up, politely, firmly. The manager came out, not to fix the injustice, but to kick them out. "You're disrupting paying guests," he said. Everywhere they turned, doors slammed. Every step forward, another reminder. You don't belong here. But they weren't turning back. At the gate, Captain Preston Manning was waiting. "Let me see your documents," he said with mock courtesy. He held them up to the light, pretending to inspect for fraud. "These appear altered." Another lie. Then came Simone Bradford, a black supervisor who should have been an ally. Instead, she scanned the girls with ice in her voice. "Stop making accusations, or I'll deny you boarding myself." Zara and Yolanda had swallowed insult after insult, but now they were about to be removed entirely. Escorted out by security, labeled disruptive for trying to board a plane their family owned. Enough was enough. Zara raised her phone, dialed one number. "Dad," she said, voice shaking but firm. "They're blocking us. They canceled the flight. It's all racial. We need your help." What happened next? No one in that terminal would ever forget. The voice that came through the phone was calm, deep, commanding. "This is Victor Whitmore," it said. "You will not touch my daughters. You will not say another word. And if one more lie leaves your mouth, I'll shut down every aircraft on this tarmac." The blood drained from Logan Cartwright's face, the last staffer standing between the twins and their jet. Because Victor Whitmore wasn't just a concerned father. He was the owner and CEO of Skyline Executive Aviation, and now he was done being quiet. "Activate Emergency Protocol Alpha," Victor said coldly. Within minutes, every Skyline jet across the country was grounded. Screens flashed red, flights delayed, executives panicked. Pilots ran to phones, staffers whispered in fear. Then, Victor appeared, in person. He didn't come alone. He brought attorneys, investigators, compliance officers, media teams, and rage that had been forged in silence for years. He didn't just want justice for his daughters. He wanted the entire system exposed. He faced Kyle Morrison first. "You told my daughters they didn't belong in private aviation," Victor said. "You canceled a fully paid charter. You lied. You racially profiled. And now you're done." Kyle was escorted out. Next came Parker Mitchell. "You searched minors without cause. You violated their rights. You treated them like criminals. You silenced witnesses. What regulation permits you to target students for looking suspicious? None. Gone. Simone Bradford tried to defend herself. I was just enforcing policy. No, Victor interrupted. You enforced prejudice wrapped in procedure. You were our shield, and instead, you became their sword. You don't belong in leadership. By the end of the day, over a dozen employees were terminated. A federal civil rights investigation was underway, and Victor Whitmore stood before cameras and press, unapologetic. This wasn't bad service, he said. It was systemic racism, and it ends now. 6 months later, Skyline Executive Aviation became the first private airline to implement national anti-discrimination protocols, anonymous reporting systems, and mandatory bias training for all employees. And the Whitmore twins? They didn't just get justice. They changed aviation. They spoke before Congress, partnered with the NAACP, consulted with Fortune 500 companies. Because what started as a nightmare on a jet bridge became a movement in boardrooms and policy chambers. 1 year later, they returned to Miami Executive for another college visit. This time, the staff greeted them with warmth and dignity. Their flight took off smoothly, and in the lounge, a young black girl stared in awe. "Are you the girls who changed the airplanes?" Zara knelt down and smiled. "Yes, and someday you will too." If this story moved you, like, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more powerful stories that expose injustice. And tell us, where in the world are you watching from? Let's see how far the message of courage and justice travels.